Hey guys, what is up? Camping Wow, failed take already. You know what? I'm gonna keep going. Hey guys, what is up? Camping McCamper Pants here, and today I'm coming at you with a really cool game, special for me, and it's a game of domination on arcade. And the cool things about this game are one, it's I'm playing with my clan, and we are really good together. And I'm not gonna tell you how the game goes though. And the second really cool thing about this game is we actually played it versus the Old Timers clan, and we completely randomly ended up in a lobby against them, and that's really cool. So I just figured I'd upload the result. Now yeah, and if you guys don't know who the Old Timers clan is, it's the clan that Wicked Shrapnel is in. Really awesome commentator, and yeah, actually everyone in the Old Timers clan is really cool. So yeah, check out their page. I'll probably put a link in the description to it. Now what I want to talk about this commentary is arguments, and I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day, and I write down ideas for commentaries, and this popped in my head, so I figured I'd do this one because it's a pretty cool topic. Now I wrote down a pseudo script, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna follow it. Like right now, I'm pretty off script, but I'm probably gonna refer to it for points later. So, and you'll see now this isn't the most interesting gameplay. I'm not going to be running and gunning. I'm not going to be getting a Moab, but I am going to be doing some pretty cool stuff. So, and I just thought it was special to play against these guys, so that's why I uploaded it. It's not the best gameplay, but it's cool for me. Now, back to arguments. Everyone's gotten into an argument in their life, and well, at least I have, and it's really, you know, bothersome for what depends on. Wow, that was a sniper fail. For what determines who apologizes in that argument, and, because rarely it depends on who's right, and more of the time it has to depend on who has status or power over the other person. And so like for an example, have you ever won an argument with your parents? And you know, if you have, it's very rare. I mean, definitely rare for me because let's see. So what did I write down in my notes here? Because especially rare for me because my parents would always take each other's side, and however irrational their argument seems to be, and this was always my dad's biggest flaw because he'd always take some irrationally biased opinion on something, and no matter what, my mom would agree with him, and that made it very. They both remained as stubborn as a fucking donkey over this shit, and it made it very hard because I always ended up having to apologize over something that I didn't believe in. And the same thing happened in the clan recently. I had a dispute with someone, and because it affected my friendship with someone else too, because he's basically BFFs with the person that I got into a fight with, and as soon as our argument happened, I'm not going to apologize to her because I didn't feel like I was wrong, and so all of a sudden he's now treating me differently, even though our dispute has absolutely nothing to do between us. So that kind of, you know, puts me in a very awkward position because now I'm, you know, having on bad terms with this guy that I had absolutely no dispute with, based upon how he is friends with someone else better than he's friends with me, and that's not really fair because he's not factoring in any way who's actually right, and even if he is, it's a very biased view of it. Now, it's very stupid in my opinion. So when that puts me up to make an apology based upon the fact that it's my fault, no matter who's wrong. When I have to make that apology, this is a little wordplay that I pull, and it makes me feel better, and it because I'll point it out to you. There's a big difference between saying I'm sorry that I, and I'm sorry that you. Okay, and let's see. Go back to my notes here. Like say like I'm sorry that I offended you versus I'm sorry that you were offended by what I did. Okay, one implies that like I understand my actions were wrong and I'm apologizing for them, and the other implies that I'm sorry you're. The only thing I regret is that you're incapable of understanding why I did what I did. So it's still a quote unquote apology, but I'm not apologizing for my actions. You know, if you understand what I mean. Because honestly, I don't give two shits what anyone thinks about what I do, as long as I do them in a good conscience. But I do regret when someone has bad feelings towards me, so I try to avoid that. and this simple apology is something that most people will accept, but without admitting any actual guilt, and people overlook this far too often. Sometimes I like to point it out to people that I'm not in fact apologizing for anything, only saying that I'm sorry that you're too stubborn to accept what I've done. But people often forget the meaning of words, and when you hear those two words, I'm sorry, and you hear them earnestly, most people just tune out. They void the meaning of any of the rest of the words that you say by not listening, and that can change the whole implication of the expression. As a good example, in the movie V for Vendetta, it is someone says, "Words are the means to meaning, and for some, the enunciation for truth." But when your words fall on ears that hear what they want to, they hear an apology. When in fact I say that I pity your inability to see things from my perspective. And all my life, my parents were under the impression that I do things selfishly, and for my own gain and no one else's. And that thought made up in their mind, it caused them to disregard most of my points, that I'd make. And no matter what reason I'd give them, they would hear, because I care more about that than what you want. And I'm not going to get into personal examples of this because I'm not going to get into the details of my childhood with you. But that's the kind of thing that would always go on. Now, I will tell you that this conflict with my parents came up for a while. I put all my faith in my parents' decisions and so forth, like any young child should or would. And but by the end of high school, I stopped for a while and thought, and came to the conclusion that my parents were not all-knowing about me, and that they were only human, and they didn't know what was best for me. They only made assumptions, like, and proceeded upon those, as anyone would do. And I started standing up to their decisions because I earnestly thought they were wrong. They were just as human as I was. And this is this led to a lot of conflicts with my parents, and I later found out that they debated very strongly on sending me to military school. And I was on a walk with my mother when she told me this, and she said that sometimes she didn't know how to control me, like control me like I'm a toy or something. I don't know. And I knew about it because she had threatened me with military school earlier, and I told her on that walk that that would have been the very only thing that I would have told her directly no to. No false apologies saying like I'm sorry what I did or nothing. Just no, you're not gonna do that. And I thought to myself, how did they even consider subjecting me to this something just because they lacked experience? I mean, no parent knows what they're getting into if they've never had kids before, and that's just how it is. Oh, hang on, check this out. Ready? No scope! Ah, I got him. And I died. So, after the military school ordeal, that kind of confirmed my beliefs earlier that they didn't know exactly what they were doing. So I thought that for a while I could make better assumptions. Ooh, Colette. I thought I could make better assumptions about what I was best for me than they could. And so when I learned how to make false apologies like that, that made me feel a lot better because I didn't have to give up on my morals to my parents, who at the time I thought were very very two-faced, and they lied a lot. And so so back when I used to have these, what actually motivated me to start on making these, thinking about these false apologies, quote unquote, is I used to get thrown out of the house a lot. Back when me deciding to stand up to my parents, that got me thrown out of the house quite a few times actually. And one of the times it was very cold weather. But I'd always just lie in the back of my dad's car and wear dark clothing so he wouldn't see me, because it was funny, he always came out to check to make sure I wasn't hanging around. It was really pathetic. But they wouldn't let me back in the house unless I came back with an apology, and so I learned to make apologies that lied to them and made me feel better, because they didn't hear they didn't hear I'm sorry that you don't understand what I did. They just heard I'm sorry. So when they told me to take a walk and come back with an apology, I did, and the apology wasn't a lie. Oh, the end of the game's coming right up here. So I came back with an apology that wasn't a lie, but I came up without apologizing or sacrificing on my morals. So not sure how that commentary went, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of rambling there for a little while, but that was a little game we had against the OTC, and we kind of crushed them. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. This has been a Camping with Camper Pants commentary. Peace.